Hello everyone, welcome to Apex Labs. So in this session we will learn about one of the very important topics in Salesforce CPQ, and that is guided selling. So this is the first video of Salesforce CPQ, and we will be learning all the topics of Salesforce CPQ one by one. So let us understand how does the guided selling work in Salesforce CPQ. So guided selling is a very important tool in Salesforce CPQ, with the help of which we can filter the products and find the products quite easily during the quoting process. So suppose an organization has many products, so it will become difficult for the sales rep to identify the right products which should fit in the quote. So in order to help the sales reps to filter down the products and select the right products in the quote, it's important to have the guided selling. So guided selling helps the sales rep to select the right products easily with the help of various pick list options which we can provide during the quoting process. So that is the basic importance of guided selling. So let us do one demo and understand how does the guided selling basically work in Salesforce CPQ. So I have prepared some data in this org of mine so that I could showcase to you how do we use the guided selling. So first of all, we need to go to the product object and create the fields for on the basis of which we have to make our decision. That is, we have to select the records in the system. So you can see that this is the product object, and in this, if we go to the fields and relationship, I have basically used about 4 fields. First is the family, that is the product family. This is the first field which I have used, and you can see that there are multiple pick list values here. For example, none, hardware, software, service, support, etc. are present here. So this was the first field, product field. Now other than this, I also have created the second pick list field called hardware type. So it has various options such as CPU, desktop, laptop, printer, etc. And then I've also created another field called processor, and then there is one more pick list field which is region. Yeah. So these are the 4 fields which we are going to use in the quote to identify the right products for us. So first is the product family, second is the hardware type, third is the processor, and the fourth one is the region. So you can see the processor has various options such as i3, i5, i7, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. Similarly, the region has multiple options such as UK, USA, India, China, Indonesia, Philippines. So these are basically the 4 fields I have created in the product object. So let's recap the 4 fields which we are going to use in our first demo of guided selling. First is the product family, second is the hardware type, third is this processor, and the fourth one is the region. So these are the 4 fields we created on the product object. Now other than this, we also need to go to another object of Salesforce CPQ, that is process input. So let's go here to process input. And in process input, we will be replicating all the fields which are present in the product object. So for example, we already have 4 fields in the product object. The same field should be present here in the process input object also. And since we have to make a decision based on the pick list values, that's why we would try to have the same pick list values here also. So now I have also created 4 fields here. First is family. So let's go to this one. Because we had a product family there, that's why I created this family pick list field. Now please remember that this is a custom field, whereas the product object had the product family field which was a standard field from Salesforce CPQ. So here if you see, in the product object, this family field is a standard field from the Salesforce CPQ manage package. However, this field is a custom field which I have created. Okay. Now this is the family field that denotes the product family. After this, we again have the hardware type. Then we also have the processor, and then we also have the region. Okay, so these are the same twin fields. So basically it's replicating the fields which we have created in the product object, the same fields we need to create in the process input object. Only one difference is there, is that in the product object the product family is a standard field. However, in the process input object, the product family, the field which I have created is a custom field, that and the field API name is family __ C. So this is only the basic difference between these two. Now once we have created this, the whole setup, we also need to do some changes on two other fields of the process input object itself. First is the process input. So we need to create one would be the product field. So if we go here, this object this field also has the same pick list values. However, we are using the API names of the fields which we have created. Okay, and then let me show you the second field. Input field. So here you will see that we have used the same field API names of the fields which we have created. So now product field is basically defines whatever the fields which we have created or whatever the fields we are going to use in the product object. Okay, so here we have product family. We are using the standard field because we are basically using the standard field of the product object here, but the all other fields, for example the hardware type, processor and the region, are the custom fields. That's why you can see that __ C is appended there. However, in case of product family, there is no __ C because that is a standard field. Okay, so you can see all the four fields of our are present here. First is the product family, second is hardware type, third is processor, and the fourth one is region. Now in process input also we have created the same four fields. So we have family, region, processor and hardware type. Do remember that we are going to use this family __ C because, as I told, that in the process input object the field which we have created is a custom one. That's why in process input field we will be using the API name of the custom field which we have created and not the standard one. So these are the basic four fields which we are going to use. Do remember, I am highlighting these are the four fields: hardware type, processor, region and family. Okay, so this is how the whole configuration is being done. These are the changes for at the metadata level for the guided selling to work. Now let's try to do a demo of by creating the records which are important for creating a guided selling process. So in order to achieve this, you need to first of all go to the code process record. So let's go to the code processes, and I have created one sample code process record. So you can see the name I have given is guided selling, and I have selected it guided only. So this checkbox also we need to mark it true, and then in the related list we define what are the input fields which will be available. So let's go to one by one to each one of them. Yeah, so the first process input condition is what is the family of the product. So I have given the name the same as the label. You can give a different name to the input name and the label. This label is what will appear on the UI. Display order defines that in what ordering the questions will appear. Since I have given it a first order, so this will appear as first question. Okay, and then we have defined what would be the input field. So as I told, we have created a custom field in the process input object which defines the family of the product. That's why we are using the __ C field, that is the custom field. Conditions met will be all. Now we are in the product filter, we are applying product family because this is the field which is present on the product object, and we are the operators which we are using is equals. That is, in the input condition, whatever the family which we have selected, the pick list values of the various values which we have defined in the family field, so whatever that value would be selected, that would be compared against the product family field of the product, and whatever the data will be matched, that will be returned by Salesforce CPQ. This is a very important concept. You need to understand that in the input field we have already created this family __ C field in the process input object, which has the same pick list values as that present in the product family field of the product object. Now during comparison, Salesforce CPQ checks whether the input field which is being entered by the user matches the product field in the product object. If it finds a value, then it brings that record from the system. So after doing some demo, you'll be able to understand it well, but in just this is an important thing. So in the input object, since we have created the custom field, that's why we are using this __ C field here. However, here we are using the standard name, that is the product family. So this is the first question. Now in the second question, we will ask which region, that is which particular area does the product belong to. So again, the input field will be the region, and in the region, you remember I have shown you that in the process input object also we have created a custom field region which has the same pick list values which is present on the product fields region field. So you can see that input field is region __ C, conditions met all, and product field is region __ C, and operators is equals. Okay. Similarly, we will create we have created another process input question, that is which processor are we looking for, and the display order is 40. So let's go to the third one because this is the third question. Now see, here the display order is 1, so that's why this question will appear first. Here the display order is 20, so this question will appear in second, and this question is third, and that's why we have given the display order as 30. Now if you want to introduce any question between this second question and the third question, then you can give the display order as 25. So that's why we are giving it as a difference of 10 as the display order. Okay. So now now this is the fourth question, that is which processor. So here we have given the display order as 40. Now one interesting thing is this, that I want this question, that is which processor, only to appear when the person has selected the hardware type as CPQ. That's why if you go to this particular processor input, then you will find that input condition, and in this input condition I have selected that the process input, this is the process input, and then the master process input is hardware type equals CPQ. So let me just edit it so that it's clearer for you to understand. So I want this question to only appear, that is which processor is selected, this condition, that is the question which will be asked to the rep, that which processor do you want. So that question should only appear when the hardware type has been selected as CPQ. So in order to achieve this, what I have done is that I have created a process input condition. The name is when processor is selected, marked is at active, and then I have made a comparison that the hardware type equals value CPU. So whenever the hardware type has been selected as CPQ, then only this question will appear. So this is an important feature and a very special feature of Salesforce CPQ guided selling. So now you can see that which processor, this question will only appear when this condition is met, and the condition is that the hardware type should be equal to CPQ. So now let's try to see how does it work, and let's do a demo of this. So we will go to the port record, and then we have this option. Now when I click on edit lines, then let's try to see all the options we can do. So we will click on add products, and now just now the example which I showed you, let me just try to show how it works. So suppose if I've selected desktop, you can see that I'm not getting the fourth question. So once I select CPQ, then only I'll get the fourth question, because this question, that is when this question, that is which processor, it will only appear when this process condition is being satisfied, and that is when the hardware type equals CPU, then only the fourth option will appear. So this is how it's working. So suppose if I make it as desktop, then you can see that the fourth question will not appear. This is not appearing because this condition has not been satisfied, that the hardware type question process input should be equal to CPU. So since it's not matching, that's why the fourth question is not coming. So for the fourth question to appear, the hardware type should be selected at CPU. So now once I select the CPU, then the processor comes, which is Ryzen 5. Or these are various picklist values which are coming. So as a default, Ryzen 5 is coming. So now let's try to see this in action, how it really works. So let's see. So for that, I will cancel this and we will go to the code. So let's go to the code. And now before doing a demo, I have also created some records and I would like to show how does it appear. So for example, I created this record, Lenovo ThinkBook Ryzen 5 16 GB RAM, which is available in India. So now suppose the rep has hundreds and thousands of products in the system. Now how would he identify that he has to select that Lenovo ThinkBook product which is of India and it should be a laptop? So these specifications, how can he filter it down easily during the quoting process? So what he can do is that he just need to go to the quote record. I'm opening any quote record, and now I'll click on edit lines. Now I will ask to add products, and then I will, so if I make software here and if I make it UK and I say desktop or laptop, so now you can see nothing is appearing. So this is an important thing, that it is making a decision. It's trying to identify the products, but since it's not finding any data, that's why it's not returning any record. But now let's try to see whether the system is able to find this product or not. So we'll click on edit lines, and then I'll click on add products, and this time I'll select hardware. The region is India and the hardware type is laptop, and then let's say suggest, and now you can see that this product has already come, Lenovo ThinkBook Ryzen 5 16 GB RAM in India. So now I can just click on select. I can select it, and then once I save it, then this particular product will be added as a quote line item in this quote of ours. Now let's see how the processor, suppose we have to select the processor, then how would it work? So that's why I created another product in Salesforce CPQ, and this is the 8 GB RAM. You can see that the product family is hardware, region is India, hardware type is CPU, and the processor is Ryzen 5. So let's try to see whether the system is able to identify it. So we'll go to the code, and then we'll click on edit lines, and then click on add products, and this time I'll select the hardware. The region will remain India. This time I'll select the hardware type as CPU, and the processor, let it be i3. So you can see no data is appearing right now, but however, let's try to do another demo. This time we will click on edit lines, add products. This time we'll select the hardware, region will remain India, CPU will remain hardware type will remain CPU, and we'll select Ryzen 5. So let's see. So now you can see that whatever the product which we had selected, which we had created, is now appearing as an option with the help of guided selling. Now if I select it, then you can see RAM 8 GB has been added, and then I can now save it. Yeah, so now the quote has been created, and now we can easily see that the quote line, the product which we just selected would be added as a quote line item. So now you can see that the 8 GB RAM has been added as a quote line item and is added to the product. So this is the beauty of the guided selling. With the help of guided selling, the sales rep can prepare quote very easily, and he can filter down the products which the customer is looking for, because any organization can have multiple products in the system. Now in order to filter down the right product and to provide the right quote to the customer, it's important to help the rep identify the right product. So with the help of guided selling, we can provide a set of questions to the rep so that he could answer them and get the right products on his screen, and could create the quoting process with a simple process and with ease as well as with speed. So that is the benefit of guided selling. I hope I was able to explain you how the guiding process, how does the guided selling work. If you like the video, do like and share and subscribe. Thank you.